Well, welcome out in virtual land to Yin Yoga. My name is Sara. This is Perennial Yoga, and let's start off with a little ground and centering to bring us in. So, really, that is my theme for class today. Really, just simply being present in our bodies and grounding and centering. I think that there is so much going on in the world right now that I personally, I don't know about you, but can absolutely feel a certain fraying of my nerves, no matter, my yoga and meditation practice has become absolutely essential, and even still, there's been a shift. So let's, if you're not already seated tall, go ahead and seat yourself tall. You can see how I'm sitting just because this hip doesn't like to turn out. But I usually like to recommend that you have yourself elevated just a little bit so that you can keep your pelvis tilted a little forward so that it's easy to sit tall. And I invite you to sit tall, maybe close your eyes if you're comfortable, take your gaze low, and let's just take a moment here as we begin to just experience ourselves and our body, just in the name of taking inventory. What's going on physically, what's going on mentally and emotionally. And without getting wrapped up in conversations and judgment and critique of your current state, just being able to sort of taking one step off of being involved in the personal experience of it all, and so you can sort of view it as if from a third party vantage, and just say, oh, okay, that's what's going on right now. That's what's going on right now. See if you can allow yourself to soften into your seat, feeling the weight of your body into your cot or the floor, feeling heavy, as if you could grow roots and ground down into the floor, down into the earth. And not only feeling yourself heavy and grounded, but equally feeling the support of the floor and the support of the earth, knowing that she is there, supporting us always. We're going to move into a little bit of awareness of the breath, but first, let's chant 3 ohms together to further ground and center. So you can keep your hands on your lap if that feels right, connecting your thumbs and your fingertips, or you can bring your palms together in Namaskar at your heart. And let's just first take one big deep breath together, inhaling and exhaling. And then one more big inhale. We'll start 3 ohms. See if you can feel the om rise from your root up to the crown. Let the roll around in your head. One more. Just a little higher. Well, and then just take a moment to experience any sort of reverberation or resonance from that home. Just noticing what you feel in your body, mind. And you can take your hands back down to your lap. I'm going to suggest you take your palms and face them down, which is a little more grounding, and then also connecting your thumb and your pointer fingers, chin or jaw. And let's begin with some breath awareness. So beginning to notice where you're feeling your breath most acutely. Perhaps it's at the tip of your nose or the back of your throat. Or maybe you're experiencing your belly expanding and sinking. And for just the next few moments, just stay present with that most acute awareness. Letting the breath be smooth and easeful, and creating some length to the breath. If you like, you can use just the softest of ujjayi breath, a little tiny bit of constriction in the back of the throat. It's so soft that you really don't even hear it. Just enough to help lengthen the breath. And then as you continue to create length and smoothness and ease to the breath, let's bring our awareness down into the abdomen as we work on some abdominal breathing. So abdominal breathing means we're really using our diaphragm. And as you inhale, the diaphragm is contracting and it's displacing the abdominal organs, which makes the belly balloon out. And then as you exhale, the belly sinks and the diaphragm relaxes. So keeping your awareness, see if you can bring your awareness even inside behind the navel space. And continuing this for about 10 more breaths. Pretty nice full breaths. You can even use a little count in your head. So I'd like to encourage what we call samavriti or equal wave breath, where your inhale and your exhale are of equal length. This breath pattern is very stabilizing. So if your inhale is 4 or 5 or 6 counts long, your exhale will be the same. And I encourage you, if your count is 4 right now, maybe target eventually 5 or target eventually 6. Smooth and easy with breath. Inhales and exhales at equal length. So one of the beautiful things about this abdominal breath is it helps to shift us over to parasympathetic mode, the rest and digest side of our nervous system. The diaphragm is massaging and stimulating our vagus nerve. The vagus nerve passes through the diaphragm, and when we're actively using the diaphragm like this, we stimulate the vagus nerve, which is the master nerve of the parasympathetic nervous system. So anytime you're feeling like you need to ground and relax, abdominal breath is your friend. Let's take just a couple more breaths this way. Your next exhale. Just releasing that breath pattern and any effort around the breath. And when you're ready, slowly opening your eyes. And before we actually get into our first pose, we're going to just do a little bit of tapping on our body to energetically bring our energy, continue to bring our energy down out of the head and into our lower body. So get yourself into a position, I'm going to shift a little bit here, so that you can reach a foot comfortably. And you're to take these little soft fists and just kind of do some tapping on the top and the bottom of your foot. So up and down from the heel to the toes, just back and forth a little bit. And I invite you to just bring your awareness into your foot and be really present with this tapping as you continue to breathe. Taking some nice abdominal breaths. So we're helping to open up the energy channels on the bottom of the feet that help us to absorb earth energy and help us to be more grounded. So one more set of tapping here, and then let's go ahead and switch feet. Breathe and be present right into your foot. I don't know about you guys, but it's actually been a while since I did this. And I'm like experiencing now my first foot that I tap is tingling. A good, like happy, warm tingling. So take another couple breaths here. I'm glad that Chuck decided to join us from yoga this morning. It's perfect, right? Okay, let's go ahead and stand up. We're just going to do a little bit more tapping before we come down into a child's pose. So similar tapping, but instead of using our fists, we're just going to use the whole hand. And we're going to tap the front and the outside of the leg all the way down, and then the inside and the back of the leg back up. And do this a few times, down and up, continuing to breathe. One more time, down and up. Good, and then let's switch to the other leg. The front and the outside, and then the inside and back, and way up. Let's do one more. Down and back up. Good, and then just stand up, take a moment here, close your eyes, stand and just feel, just experience. And then we're going to do a little bit of pelvic and sacral tapping. So you're going to, again, make your little loose fists and having your feet a little bit wider than hip distance, and you're going to start just sort of a little bouncing as you tap around into a clockwise circle. So you're coming up the right side and down the left side. Breathe. Again, if you can bring your awareness just right inside your body, behind where you're tapping. A little bounce, bounce, bounce helps the energy move. One more circle. And then just take it wide. We're going to just do a little tapping on the outer hips. And then we're going to move to the sacrum. So we're going to just do a little soft tapping back in the sacrum, just kind of up and down and all around the sacrum. Keep doing just a soft little bouncing. Sway back and forth. We're just sort of helping to get energy moving, circulating, and also helping us to ground here. Take one more breath here. And then go ahead and stop your tapping once again. I invite you to just stand, close your eyes, and feel and experience. Beautiful. Let's come down into our first pose today. We're just going to come into a real simple child's pose. And I invite you to have a wide knee child's pose. So if you're able to take your knees as wide as your mat. And if you have props here, you can use a bolster under your head or your body. Otherwise, if you're able to come all the way down, You're gonna bring your forehead to the floor. Arms outstretched, nice and long. And I invite you to come back to your Samavritti breath here, that equal wave. Maybe you have a 5-5 or a 6-6 count to your breath. And you don't have to keep counting, but I think that the counting can be really a valuable way to understand and make our inhale and our exhale intentionally equal. And once you've achieved that and you feel like you can maintain it, then you can certainly release the breath or release the counting, keeping the breath going. And I invite you to bring your awareness to where the breath can go. So we had started with this abdominal breath. And now maybe abdomen is just a little bit constricted. It's a widening child's pose, so perhaps there's not a lot of restriction in the belly. But see if you can expand the breath a little more into the sides and the back. So into that low back region where our kidneys and our adrenal glands sit. The adrenal glands are little organs that are in charge of how we manage stress. So we're going to give them a little bit of our love and our energy and direct some prana there with our breath and our awareness. When we have both our breath and our awareness involved, it's like extra superpowers. So we're going to stay here for about 1 more minute. And I invite you also to just feel the floor. Feel the center of your forehead connected to the floor and rooted. Feel everywhere that you're connected to the floor and allow yourself to feel heavy and grounded. Slowly now, you're going to inch yourself forward and come all the way down into your belly. And just take a moment here. You can turn one cheek to the floor, arms at your sides. Take a moment, just extend it long. And then please extend your left arm out to the side, just the left arm, palm to the floor. And then take your right hand and place it palm down right next to your chest. And we're going to do a little stretch of the front of the left arm and shoulder. So you're slowly going to press the right arm into the floor and roll yourself a little bit onto your side. If you can keep your ear on the floor, go ahead and do that. And you can also bend your right leg, take your right foot around behind you if that feels accessible to you. Bending the knee. And then we kind of just want to play with this. So of course we don't want to go to a place where we feel pain or it's too intense. So it's up to you to be really knowledgeable about how to play that edge. And breathing into sensation is a really valuable way to stay present. So we're going to hang out here for just another minute. Go ahead and continue to be present with sensation, allowing the breaths to gravitate back to your Samavritti equal wave.
Notice where your breath can go. Continuing to cultivate an abdominal style breath. Keep ourselves calm and relaxed. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then at the end of your 3rd breath, slowly roll yourself back onto your belly. You can take that left arm down to your side, take both arms down to your side, and just pause for a moment. And I invite you to turn your cheek to the opposite side and take your right arm now out to the side. Left hand is in towards your chest, and you're slowly going to press the left hand into the floor now as you roll to the right. Keeping your right ear on the floor, and if you're able, taking that left foot, bending the knee, taking the left foot behind you. And just using that leverage of the hand, of the left hand into the floor, and breathing here. Being present with sensation, being wise about playing that edge. Let's take 3 more breaths here. At the end of your 3 breaths, you'll slowly roll yourself onto your belly. Take your arms to your sides. Take a moment, just adjust. Maybe feel your shoulders there, the fronts of the arms. Is there a difference between one side or the other? We've done both now. And then you can place your hands on either side of your chest and press yourself up on all 4s. We're going to come up and do a little toe squat exercise. So we're going to curl our toes underneath, and you can even reach down and sort of, because the last 2 toes tend to not want to fold, you're going to sort of draw them a little more forward on each side. And this might be intense, depending on how tight the bottoms of your feet are. But if you can sit here comfortably, that's what you'll do. Otherwise, you may want to take a block or 2. It can help to elevate a little bit. I have these strange skinny blocks, unfortunately, so I'm using 2 of them just to show you. This can help to keep you a little elevated so that you don't have quite as much force on the toes. And then we're also going to involve a little bit of opening of the chest here. So if you know you're able to take reverse prayer, you'll bring your fingertips together and take the palms up the back in reverse prayer. If that is inaccessible for you, I just invite you to reach around and see if you can hold on to your elbows or just your forearms. And then we're going to want to sit up nice and tall here, chin level to the floor. And I invite you to close your eyes or take your gaze low and just come back into your breath.
Nice, easy, summer breath. Breathing into the abdomen, experiencing sensation, being present with sensation, breathing into sensation. Let's take just a couple more breaths and with this arm position. And with your next exhale, go ahead and release the hold of your arms behind your back. Just let them dangle at your sides for a moment. And let's inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale and back down. Let's do it a couple more times. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And now we're going to actually wrap our arms around in front. So you can take your left arm over your right arm underneath. See if you can wrap your arms around so that you can bring your palms together in front. And then first we're just going to do, I like to call a little shoulder flossing. So you're just going to slowly take your palms up towards the ceiling and then elbows down towards the floor with your breath. And just notice what you're experiencing in your shoulders, in your upper back. Even just letting this be with your breath here. And then you're going to find that spot, that sweet spot where it feels like you're getting, something's happening. You're having some maybe additional stretch that feels sort of sweet. You find that sweet spot and spend a few breaths there. It should feel productive. It shouldn't feel painful. And you can even then slowly shift to continue to find that productive spot. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And when you're finished with your 3 breaths, you'll release your arms, just let them dangle at your sides. Remove your block. If you had a block, uncurl your toes. Let's just let our feet be long here. If you're comfortable sitting back on your heels, take a moment here just with your toes nice and long. And then we're going to come down onto our bottom. We're going to come into a head to knee pose here. So if you know you have tight hamstrings, it can be beneficial to get yourself elevated on a little bit of a blanket. Let's start with the left leg extended long. I'm going to sort of move off to the left edge of my mat and bring the right foot in to my inner thigh. It looks like all of you are managing this well, but if you ever feel like you have some discomfort in your hip, you can prop with a block or a blanket. And then we're going to turn and face the long leg, sit up nice and tall. And then just slowly allow yourself to kind of creep forward. Pause where you start to feel sensation. Maybe it's in your hamstring, maybe it's in the back. You're going to take a breath. So we're only ever just very slowly going to get down into the final position. You're going to keep taking some breaths as you slowly come more forward into your fold. And eventually, however far you're able to come forward, you're going to let your head drop without crunching the chin towards the chest. Just letting the head feel heavy so that there's this nice long arc that is the back and the neck and the crown of the head. And being present with the breath and that sound of a deep breath.
noticing sensation, allowing yourself to feel heavy and grounded. You might even notice as you hang out here for about another minute that there's some gradual release as you continue to cultivate this calming breath. The body progressively is able to release a little deeper. You might notice that you're able to not necessarily push, but just gently drop a little deeper. Take a couple more breaths here. And a couple breaths, you're going to slowly walk your hands and use your hands to press into the floor so that you're really not using your back muscles, but just using the arms to bring yourself up. And then we'll take and stretch out that right leg. Take a moment here just sitting in center, noticing how you feel. So we just did an asymmetrical pose. You might have felt this in your QL area in your low back, or you might have felt this in your hamstring. Just notice what's speaking to you most profoundly right now. Notice if you have a sense of asymmetry that is sort of craving to be satisfied by doing the other side. And then we're slowly going to shift ourselves off to the right edge of the mat, keeping the right leg long now. And now taking the left foot into the inner thigh. And I do need actually some assistance and support under this knee because of my hip. So if you find that you need that, go ahead and put a block or blanket or something underneath that leg. And once again, let's sit up nice and tall. We're facing this long leg. Take a nice big breath. And then with your exhale, you're just going to slowly, super slowly walk yourself forward. Pausing and breathing into places that you start to experience sensation. Eventually, slowly letting yourself drop just a little deeper until you feel like you've come into the deepness of the pose, whatever that means for you. And just spend some time here, breathing, being present in the body to sensation. Again, noticing how as you've spent a little bit of time here, you might be Rocking just a little deeper as the body releases a little more. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then at the end of your 3 breaths, again, using your hands and your arms as you walk yourself slowly up, pressing into the floor so that you're really not exerting muscular energy in your torso and you're just pressing up with your arms. Then go ahead and take that left leg long, bring yourself into some symmetry here as you sit tall. And once again, just experience, notice what you're feeling. Notice if you still feel asymmetry. We think we're symmetrical beings, but we're actually have so many asymmetries. Just because, say, you're left or right-handed, you do things, you carry a bag on one shoulder, you get in a car on one side, you mouse with one hand. There's so many things that we do asymmetrically, and so yoga is really this beautiful opportunity to understand that and know ourselves better. So go ahead and open your eyes, and we're going to come down into our bellies. So we just we're in a forward fold there. Now we're going to do a little bit of a back bend, but I don't like to move from one extreme to the other real fast. So we're going to come down onto our bellies and take a cheek to the floor and your arms at your sides, and just let your back come into sort of a neutral alignment here, adjusting from that several minutes that we spent in forward fold, letting those little spongy discs between our vertebrae come back into equilibrium. And then you can go ahead and slowly bring yourself up into a Sphinx pose. So we're going to bring our elbows right underneath our shoulders, palms to the floor in front. Tops of your feet are on the floor. You can take them a little bit wide here if that feels comfortable for you. And then I'd like you to think about shifting your pubic bone towards your navel so that you're really creating length in the low back so that you're not crouching down in that low back. And then if this ever feels too intense to be with the elbows right underneath the shoulders, you can come a little bit lower by taking your elbows a little further out in front. We're going to just do a few variations from here, but let's just start with gazing maybe about a foot to 2 feet in front of you, and the neck should be in alignment with the rest of the spine. So we're not cranking the head or lifting the chin, and you're not dropping the chin down, but just allowing the neck to feel like it's finishing the arc of the spine. And let's take some breaths here. I invite you to almost pull just super gently on the floor, as if you were intending to bring your chest a little farther forward. The collarbones lifted, the breastbone coming between the arms forward to the front of the mat, just super gently. So creating a little bit of, we're working on back bend in our upper back here. You know, maybe some of us sit at computers a lot during the day, and we can develop this curvature of the upper back, sort of a slumped posture. And so this is helping to stretch the spine in the opposite direction of that. So if it feels accessible to you, at this point you can bend your knees. So that's going to create a little more intensity of the back bend, making sure that you're not feeling crunched in the low back. And take a few more breaths here. Noticing your breath, being present with your breath and its sensation. Let's go ahead and slowly lower the feet back down to the mat and take your hands out to the front corners of your mat or to the floor, just out to the sides. And if this feels accessible to you, you're going to slowly straighten the arms, just lifting yourself up a little more in this back bend. Breathing here. Let's take about 5 more breaths here. Of course, if it ever feels too much for you, you can lower yourself back down. Very different position for the breath right now. It's interesting to notice. And let's lower back down into our elbows. And then as if you were tractioning your spine, you're going to slowly lower down as you draw the floor towards you with your arms. And then take a cheek to the floor and arms at your sides. And let's go ahead and just give a little waggle to your bottom, just back and forth like you're wagging, a waggling puppy dog, just waggling. Gentle little waggle. And then go ahead and switch cheeks. And a little more waggling. And please, let's slowly roll over onto our backs. And I'm going to invite you to actually keep your heads towards me. On your back. So knees are bent, feet are on the floor near your hips. And let's start with crossing the right foot over the left knee. And just letting the right knee spill out. You can stay right here, or you can lift the left foot up off the floor, reach through and grab hold of the back of the left thigh, and gently pull the left thigh closer to you. So be real gentle, honoring sensation, what's going on in your hip, just noticing, and coming back to your Samvriti. Deep away of breath. So maybe think about making sure there's just a little bit of activity in the right foot. So flexing those right toes and the left toes. And noticing as you stay here and continue to breathe, if things shift and release and you're able to draw the left thigh and maybe just a smidge closer. Always being wise and playing the edge intelligently, not going to places of pain. Just going to where I like to say sensation becomes interesting and not beyond that. take just 3 more breaths here. At the end of your 3rd breath, go ahead and release your hands and take that left foot back to the floor. And now you're going to more fully cross the right foot over the left knee, and so that you really you've crossed the legs more fully. Take your arms out to the side. Press the left foot into the floor, lift your hips up just slightly and shift them off to the right. Set the hips back down, and now let your knees spill to the left. And if you're able, then taking your gaze out to the right. Noticing what you're experiencing here. Keeping that top hip, that right hip moving away from the right shoulder. So keeping some length in that left and that right side. You might experience sensation along the spine. You might experience it in your thigh or your hip. You might experience it in your shoulder or your arm. Just noticing you being present. Let's just take a couple more breaths here. And slowly bring your knees back up to center. Press the left foot on the floor, shift your hips back in the center, uncross your legs. Let's just take a breath here. Centered, symmetrical. And then when you're ready, go ahead and cross the left foot over the right knee now. First, just letting the left knee spill out. Open wide. And then when you're ready, you can slowly begin to bring the right thigh towards you, reaching through, grabbing a hold behind the right thigh and drawing it closer to your chest. Keep a little bit of activity in that left foot by flexing the toes, and even in the right toes, a little flexion there. And breathe. Present with sensation. Let's take just a couple more breaths here. And go ahead and release your hands, drop the right foot back to the floor, cross the left knee more fully over the right, press the right foot into the floor, lift the hips up, shift them to the hips to the left just slightly, place the hips back down, and then now let the knees go to the right. Take your arms wide to the sides and gaze out to the left. Keeping that left hip moving down and away from the left shoulder. Breathing.
Take 3 more breaths in your twist. At the end of your 3rd breath, go ahead and slowly bring your knees back up. Shifting your hips back to the center, uncrossing the knees. Go ahead and take a hold of the knees here and gently draw the knees towards your chest as you exhale. And then as you inhale, let the knees gently move away. So just a real gentle pumping as you exhale, drawing the knees in. As you inhale, let them move away. And then keeping the knees a little bit hugged in, you're going to reach through, grab a hold of either the big toes in yoga toe hold or the inner or outer edges of the feet. And then slowly take the feet up towards the ceiling, letting the knees drop out to your sides towards the floor. Take a couple of breaths here. You can rock side to side if that feels good. And then release the grip on your feet. Just hug yourself into a blue ball. As if you could kiss your knees. And then take your head back to the floor, feet back to the floor. You can go ahead and stretch out right from here into Shavasana if you like. You can do a few just gentle hip lifts, a few gentle dynamic bridges if you feel like you would like to reset your low back or your pelvis and sacrum before you come into Shavasana. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and take yourself on and get comfortable for Shavasana. I'm just going to have a little micro Shavasana here as we almost come to the end of our hour. Take this moment, this time right now, to just allow yourself to continue to stay present with your body, allowing everything to soften and release and feel heavy and let go. Feeling supported by the floor and the earth beneath you. We'll finish with a short little poem by Wendell Berry. What we need is here. Peace appear high over us, pass and the sky closes, abandon, as in love or sleep, holds them to their way, clear in the ancient faith. What we need is here. And we pray, not for a new earth or heaven, but to be quiet in heart and in eye, clear. What we need is here. Okay, my lovelies, it's time for us to reanimate ourselves and bring ourselves back. Finish Shavasana. Wiggling fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Maybe taking a stretch over that. Whenever you're ready, rolling yourself onto the side, taking a pause in fetal position. And then slowly bringing yourself up and right in your final seat. We'll close with an om. It's a way to seal in our practice. Let's all take a big inhale together.